The following is a production of Nokomis Warrior Broadcasting. NWB on the Road made possible by Chinbro Corporation. The NWB van was painted by Cookson's Collision Center of Palmyra and now Skowhegan. With Martin Sr. primer and paints provided by Napa Auto Parts of Newport and Pittsfield. The NWB van travels on Cooper tires provided by Muffler King of Newport. All signage and lettering provided by Miller's Signs and Graphics. And the NWB van travels with ongoing support from A.E. Robinson Oil Company. And thanks to Mike's Computer Repair of Heartland. Nokomis Warrior Broadcasting, in association with the MS-80 48 Music Department, presents the 2001 Nokomis Regional High Spring Jazz Concert, featuring in order of performance the 8 Elements SPG Jazz Combo, Combo 2001, Nokomis Regional High Jazz Band, the Nokomis Regional High Jazz Ensemble, the Nokomis Regional High Vocal Jazz Chorus, and the Nokomis Regional High Show Chorus. This concert was taped live Wednesday, April 11, 2001 at Nokomis Regional High. The 2001 Nokomis Regional High Spring Jazz Concert.
Welcome to our annual Spring Jazz Concert. I'm sure we're in for an evening of listening to America's finest classical music, jazz. The first group we have this evening is under the direction of Miss Jennifer Moore, and it's called 8 Elements Small Performing Group.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Adam Knott. Can you turn this up? All right.
Hello.
There we
Hello.
go. Yeah, there we go. Hey, let's give a hand to the sound guys. All right.
Woo!
Yeah.
I'd like to welcome you to the Skilo and McNaughty show tonight.
I'm Skilo,
This is McNaughty here.
and for those of you who don't know, we had a radio show this summer.
Yeah,
so
we had a radio show this
That's a
summer
little pun.
at Colby College. It was pretty cool. So we tried to play some jazz stuff,
We didn't.
but
Um,
Ed wouldn't let us. So
Yeah. That last song was Blue Town with soloist Amy Seavey, Jillian Burrell, Mark Caldwell, and myself.
and my hand, yeah.
Thank you.
All right. The next song we have is entitled Misty. The soloists are Jillian Burrell on trombone, Mark Caldwell on tenor sax.
And Amy Seavey's going to attempt another solo.
Yep. And we'll.
All right. Actually, we're gonna do a little thing for Miss Moore right now, as you can probably guess. I know you guys all want to get out of here right away because it's gonna be a long night, but we do have something for Miss Moore. For those of you who don't know, 2 years ago we started this group, brand new, and she took the role of director, which she really didn't have to do, and she did out of her own spare time, and it really means a lot to us. And we just wanted to give her this.
This group was started just to give some extra people a chance to practice and play with experience, and it's given us a great experience just playing, and I've enjoyed it thoroughly. So, thank you.
Enjoy the show.
Thank you.
That last song was Bedtime in Storyville. Soloist Dean Wilbur and Josh Burrow on bass.
And Adam.
Our last song for this evening is entitled Under the Pavement, soloist by John Coombs, Dean, myself, and Ryan Garbinski.
Thank you very much.
Well, I'm very blessed with some very able jazz music educators that are able to do all of these groups. It makes my life a lot simpler. I remember the days when the 6 groups, I had to do all 6 groups that you're hearing, and it made for a very hectic year. But very fortunate, the director of this group, Mr. Jack Clifford, beginning elementary band, world-renowned. And he's the leader of this ensemble, and this is Combo 2001.
Okay, my name is Jennifer Brooks, and I've been fortunate enough to be the Jazz Combo 2000 and 2001 manager. And I'd just like to give Mr. Clifford a gift, showing our appreciation for all the time. And we'd also like to thank Mrs. Clifford, Combo Mom, for sharing him with us.
That was neat. 2 years ago, Mr. Buchanan asked me to try the combo, and he said, "Try it, you'll get hooked on it." And I said, "No." And my wife said, "Do it." And I said, "Yes." And I'm glad they both did. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. We called this the first combo, Combo 2000, for obvious reasons. This year, I called it Combo 2001, not very original, but we had essentially the same group. Tonight's kind of a bittersweet night for me because this is the last time the group will ever play together. At the end of this concert, they're disbanded. We audition tomorrow night, and the new combo will be the Passport Combo. So these guys are going to start out with a special song for us called Song for My Father. rehearsals ago, the kid said, could we do A Night in Tunisia by Dizzy Gillespie? And I said, probably not. We haven't played it more than once or twice, and it was a disaster. And then I said, sure, let's do it. And the reason that I said, sure, let's do it, is to show you the history of this group. In 1995, two of the members of this group, Andy and Ellie, were in Lincoln, Maine in February as sixth graders in the junior high jazz band, and this is one of the songs they played. So this will show you an idea of how long these guys have been together. So we're going to try to play A Night in Tunisia, Dizzy Gillespie. Okay, now it's time for you folks to keep score to see how we have done. We have 4 seniors. Half the group is leaving us tonight. Let's see what their plans are and see how we've scored. Jennifer Brooks, would you raise your hands, please? Yeah, both of them. Jennifer Brooks, going on to become a music teacher, studying music ed at UMO. Trevor, stand up, please. Trevor doesn't normally wear his hair like that, but that's all right. We like Trevor. He's our mascot. Trevor says if my dad can be on Survivor 3, I can do this. Trevor Mativier, senior, going on to UMA, music major, jazz guitar. Two for two. Third senior, on drums, Andy Clifford, UMA, music major, drummer, jazz. Into each life some rain must fall. We do have a black sheep in the family. On bass guitar, Ellie Martin. Neuroscience. But minor in music, and I got a maybe out of her tonight. That maybe she, you know, whatever. Possible music major, hopefully. Ellie, congratulations. There's a gentleman in the audience, Mr. Art Legassi, who started a student many years ago up in Dexter, saxophonist. And he went on to become a member of one of the best groups on the planet. Dumb name for a group, Bela Fleck and the Flecktones. They're absolutely incredible. I'm talking about Jeff Coffin. And Jeff Coffin, the saxophone player, came back, and Mr. Legassi and Mr. Buchanan got him to come to the school for a few days last year. He became a good friend of the school and this combo in particular. So I have been in touch with them, and Bela Fleck gave us permission, gave me permission to write an arrangement of one of their Grammy-winning songs. And this is our final selection. It's called The Sinister Minister, our version.
Group, this is the jazz band. We have two big bands here at Nokomis. This is one of them, and they rehearse early in the morning, twice a week, and very difficult for them to get there sometimes, but they always seem to arrive and almost on time. Some of them are always on time, and some of them are always late, but they're always there. That's the most important part. We have a lot of fun with this group. This group was most surprising this year. Up until, maybe 2 weeks, actually a couple of days before States, we were kind of praying every morning before we played that we wouldn't come in last place at States. And then, for some weird reason, we had one after-school rehearsal, and it was like they got it all of a sudden. The light bulbs went on, and all of a sudden there was this awesome sound, and they were playing very, very well. It would have been better for me, my mental awareness, if they had done that maybe 6, 7 months earlier, but they had to wait till one day before States before coming to realization, hey, we really can play. And play they did. And they ended up placing 3rd in their division. Big round of applause. Awesome, from last place to 3rd, that fast, in the blink of an eye. And before I forget, we do have one senior in this group, and I actually wish he was not a senior. In fact, I wish we didn't have any seniors at all. None, they just keep recycling over and over. But he's also the manager. He'll be speaking a little earlier, but this gentleman is really special. Adam McNaughton. We're going to start out and feature Mark Caldwell here on this first tune called Yesterdays.
The song was entitled A Bit of Heaven and featured Scott Cookson on trombone. Our next song is entitled Missing You. It features Lindsay Blase on sax. And our final song for tonight is Are You Talking to Me? And that includes Mark, I think. No. Scott, and I have a solo, so it's... I've been in this band for 4 years, and it's kind of hard with 3 drummers in the same grade. We're all good friends. It's all awesome. We all play together. We started about the same time, and it's been great. And I just want to thank Mr. B right now for giving me the opportunity to play for him and to be able to have the experience that I've had with all the band trips and all the concerts and everything. It's been awesome. And as a gift from the whole band, I'd like to give you this gift certificate so he can eat with his wife sometime and hopefully get something with that. So thank you.
This group is the Nokomis Regional High Jazz Ensemble. And before we get too far along, and I'm unable to speak, I'm going to speak now and just say a few words about a few individuals. First one is in the saxophone section is Mr. Dean Wilbur. Yeah, there are very few people that, I'm also the commander of the Army National Guard Band, and every now and then there's a young person that I know would benefit greatly from the Guard and playing in the Guard Band, and also someone that I could stand more than the 4 years I've already stood them. And Dean is one of those people. So he's Private Dean Wilbur in the Maine Army National Guard. You can give him applause for that. And In fact, the Army National Guard is going to be paying for his college, so that's pretty good. Dean, when we elevated him to lead alto, I had a few question marks because some of his past performances weren't stellar as far as being a leader are concerned. He seemed to be more along the idea of a complainer, you might say. And so I was wondering what was going to happen this year. I think you got that from your father, though. Yeah. But here's a young man that grew up. They all grew up really, really fast, and all of a sudden, overnight, they're a real responsible young adult. And Dean is one of those people who has come to the front and has led this saxophone section to be as good as they are now, and I'm very, very proud of him. He's grown up a lot. Thank you, Dean. Another senior in the saxophone section, Jennifer. Jen was, you could always tell where Jen was most of the time because you just follow the drops of tears around the band drummer. There would be Jen. And we always thought that she was highly emotional and strung out and just couldn't cope with things, but it's not true. She just has one of the biggest hearts in the band, and she cares about everything that these people care about, and she also cares about how well she's crying now. Don't do that yet. Okay, we still got to play a couple tunes here. And I'm extremely proud of her because I try as I could to talk her out of going into music education. She wants to be a music teacher. What's up with that, huh? But it's a glorious profession because we get to meet wonderful people like you, Jen. Thank you. Back in the trombone section, we have Ashley. Ashley was kind of my project child. Everybody said, "You're going to have who? You're going to take her?" Because she seemed to be somewhat of troubled. And if she wasn't troubled, she was causing trouble. She had an extremely short fuse, and practically non-existent at times. I'd hear my name called, "Mr. Buchanan, please come to the office," and I knew it was Ashley had done something again. We had to bail her out of trouble, me and 4 or 5 different other people. But here's a young lady that has grown so much in the years that I've known her. It's incredible. And I want to say I made the right decision, and I'm going to miss you too, Ashley. Thank you. Now we come to the brightest member. Tyler. Tyler is so smart that he doesn't even know how bright he is sometimes. He's a young man that he goes around doing things in a very quiet, unassuming manner, and he does it very, very well. He jumped in and helped with the jazz band as Jen did and some other people, but he was there helping the second band all the time and cheering them on all the time, and he's an outstanding young man, and he's another one I'm going to miss. Eddie Screech Toulouse back there. He's a guy that has become an extreme leader this year and has done all the work that I've asked him to do, not always in a timely manner, I might mention, but the work did seem to get done. But he did it his way quite often. And he's a young man when he came in that was messing around all the time, constantly in the trumpet section. And to this day, he's still messing around in the trumpet section. setting bad examples to the rest of the trumpets, but he also is one that supports his section to the utmost and supports the entire band. He really is one of those people that are one of the reasons that we were able to get as well as we did, as fast as we did. So, Eddie, thank you very much. Danny Burgess is back here. He's another one of those that goes around and gets the job done and always asks, you know, what can we do? How can we do this better? You know, how can we help? If he had a conflict, he always resolved it. I didn't have to worry about that. If he had schedule problems with any kind of practices, because he was doing everything. And he did it all very, very well. But he was always here when push comes to shove. Danny was always there, and he was the one doing a lot of the muscle work in the drum section, the rhythm section, because the rest of them were sleeping part of the time. So Danny had to fill in and do most of the hard work, the physical labor. The rest of them were thinking about it. So Danny, I'm going to miss you a lot. I don't know. Thankfully, you're taking the other guys with you. Trevor Matevia, I love that hair. And I was trying to think of what I could say about Trevor, and nothing came to my mind, except for the fact that he is an outstanding jazz musician. His talent is only, been tapped just a little tiny bit. He's his own man, I can say that for him. He always will be. I'm sure that anybody who had any dealings with Trevor realized that if everybody's going left, he's going to go right. And then he's going to try as hard as he can to get there before anybody else. That's Trevor. Thank you very much, Trevor. Andy is a drummer. Andy is nothing but a drummer. Andy will be nothing but a drummer. He may have other jobs, but he'll still be a drummer. He's one of the most incredible musicians on percussion that we have had go through this school, and I can say that we're going to miss him dearly next year. Also, the fact is that he's working with a lot of young people now in the district, and he's going to pass the jazz language on to them. So I know we're going to have some fine drummers, and this young man you're going to hear about him. Thank you. She's a sweetheart, and that's what she is. She's a sweetheart. She's a very caring, she's a very brilliant young lady. This girl has more talent than even she realizes. And I told her that a couple of years ago when she was interested in going different ways and doing different things, but she has so much talent. If she doesn't use her music somewhere down the road in her life, I'm going to find out where she is, and I'm going to go and kick the shit out of her. This is about the celebration of music. Here we go.
On behalf of being a manager, of Jazz Ensemble, I would just like to say how much B has meant to us as a group and as a trumpet player and everything. He's been through everything with us, no matter whether it be in competition or in school. He's always, wanted us to talk to him about any problems we ever had. And you can't say that for many other teachers out there. I mean, they say they want to help, but do they really? And he really wants us to. But, moving along, one of the things that I thought about as trying to find a gift for him, which was about 2 days ago since I found out that we're supposed to give something to him today, was a gift certificate to Borders, $40, and a collage that we have not yet made because nobody gave me the pictures in time for me to make it. So thank you, band. Seniors, thank you. Just thank you very much.
Okay, it's time to make y'all cry some more, and I'm sure you've been wondering what this projection screen here is for, and you're gonna find out. Okay, one more thing that we didn't have a chance to do before the film was thank Mr. Dion. He spent so much time working on this with me. And thank you, Mr. B.
I just want everybody to know I do have a life besides with these kids. Not very much of one, obviously, but they are my life, so thank you guys. This is called a little number we did, King of the Forest. Their last number. You know, I figured this was going to be a short night tonight. We don't have the junior highs. So I figured, hey, we're going to be in and out here and noontime tomorrow, I guess. Wind Machine, our last number.